to shape the crime rate in the designer van. You can find. I used to shape the crime rate in the designer van. You can find under reprobate. Now there ain't nothing to brag about, but like a high in heaven, I'll quick to let the dragon out. Work it out like we the Jews, I ain't know about it. Street Empire, Judah, what you know about it? Mr. Wood, Grind Gripper, F95 was a Bird James Flipper. Then I turned to the scriptures like I had a dirty knife, but it enough to change the nipple. Look at them super brews, knowing they garments dirty, so they go put on they super suit. Cold and sick, need a super too. Look at they click, man, looking like a super troop. They just in they ways. Hey, P's have been getting line like the number 11 per days. Real talk, real Judah. Street Empire, y'all just some intruders. They think I'm carnal because I keep my strap. They think I'm carnal cause I talk about it in my rap. Them super brews, super, them super brews. Street Empire Music. They said I sell more records if I said a higher less. I'm more concerned of being a higher less. So I praise some almost earth song. But they kicked me off the team like my name Bird Bones. But I can still go to the clubhouse. I guess they just don't want to see me knock it out. But you will never catch me in the potter's house. But I be planting them seeds like I'm the potter's house. Real Judah ain't a higher than I'm selling big. That means that oh, they go to super brews. Place a position and they people think they super too. But I'm a Hebrew, I think I'm super too. Plus I get the rap and they think I run it like super stew. No, I'm humble. Pick up that block, that thing ain't gonna make me stumble. I don't mumble. My words and my vowels and I don't fumble. They think I'm carnal cause I keep my strap. They think I'm carnal cause I talk about it in my rap. Them super brews, super, them super brews. Street Empire Music. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 18 through 22, that's what I'm really on. The same book, chapter 6, 6 through 16, shows I was doing it wrong. But it's all good. I make mistakes. For them, I praise a high, cause see now I see the snakes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just love this beat. You feel me? Cause I feel it. You feel me? Just listen to it. You hear me? Yeah, you kicking it with your partners, them real Judas, you feel me? And you just watch how the beat change. The beat just fit right. It fit right for the super brews. Right here, look. Yeah. They go them super brews. Click up. You feel me? Real talk, real Judah. I ain't got time for that. You hear me? We in these scriptures every day, but we be running with it. We ain't got time for you superstars. You hear me? No. I'ma make you a superstar. I'ma make you what you wanna be. You wanna see a high place? I got you. Them super brews, super, them super brews, super.
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your humble servant and host for tonight. I am Kayel. Wow, in the building. Let me see. All right. Well, I just got a notification, guys. Sorry about that, man. Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your host for tonight. I am Kayel in the building in the biblical. My wife is off, Miss Artist 28. She's gone for the night to do a little work. I got the young and Bella song in the building, and we are, yes, ready, my man. So, yeah. Instagram like to play with your account so much, so y'all got to forgive me for that one real quick, guys. But neither here nor there. We got a great lesson for tonight. The title for tonight is "The World is an Enemy to Order." Now, one might say, we got a lot of law enforcement. What do you mean that the world is not about Lord, I got tickets, people trying to tax my house, my property, cars. Everywhere I go, there seem to be rules. That would be true. There are a lot of rules in this world. And some of these rules, some are truly reflective of the real rules of being righteous, of actually being good humans, good individuals. We don't have a lot of that in this world. We do not have a lot of people that are following, I see Sarah's in the building, that are following a righteous law. We're following a lot of laws of man, but not the laws of the Most High. We all understand that the laws of the Most High is Exodus chapter 20. There's really no ifs, ands about what the law is. We have a lot of debate, should we follow it? There's a lot of doctrines that say that that's no longer needed, but this has been from the beginning of time and was given to us by the Most High, the Creator, which we all say does not change, right? He does not change. Yes, yes. So if he doesn't change, then I mean his laws doesn't change. So the definition and concept of being righteous is Exodus 20, and he has not changed that. That has not been altered. So if a person wants to be righteous in this day, to follow the Most High's order, that would be Exodus 20. Unfortunately, that's not what society wants. Society wants to do as thy wilt. And unfortunately, society has wrapped itself around our culture and inside of our culture in very systematic governmental ways, to where these thoughts are now destroyed our entire family concept. It's destroyed our individual concept of being righteous. This world does as thy wilt and creates its laws according to its desires. That's the difference between Exodus 20 and the laws of the world. The laws of the world is to make sure that they have what they call a peaceful society or an orderly society that does what they want, capitulates and does as they say, whether it be through slavery, Jim Crow laws, oppression, whatever it may be. You are still to adhere to it, but those laws are for their benefit, for the benefit of the government. When your government says that it's a Judeo-Christian, but more Christian because they believe in no law, because the Judeo aspect would believe in a law, the Christian would be a belief that the law is done away with due to the death of the individual. Do you see the contrast? Do you understand why the laws of the land are not what you would call righteous laws? They are laws for the benefit of the government and of the system that has been brought through colonization. So if we can wrap our minds around that, because we're deep divers over here, right? We're not on the surface of things, right? We're not on the level of what you like and what you don't like. We're not there. We're on what is and what we should be doing, as opposed to what I like or what I don't like. What it is and what should I be doing. This erosion of righteousness and morals from the top down, as we are in oppression, has affected our women in a manner that is unfortunate, because it becomes the cornerstone of our community that passes down a ideology. As we understand, our communities are filled with broken homes, so to speak, and majority of those broken homes, the women are the only one in the house. That's why it's called a single house, right? The mother is the only one in the house, and her concept of these governmental systematic, socially engineered concepts of right and wrong being something that you make up as you go for your benefit. In that, our children are taught that, and we now have a scenario where we have men in this world that don't know how to prioritize, that they live off of a pleasure principle, off of what they like, what they want to do. And many times that is not to be in a committed relationship as a family should be, as a community should enforce, because families inside of a community makes a community strong. The title of the lesson is "The World is an Enemy to Order." What order am I saying that the world is an enemy to? The order of Exodus 20, the order of Leviticus, the order of the Most High. It is diametrically opposed to it. In our community, since we are not adhering to the Torah and that laws, we are creating our own concept of righteousness. We're going to blow the shofar, but let's stand to the east so we can blow the shofar and get the lesson going. All right. We are going to call all of the tribes and the peoples to the congregation so that we can blow the shofar and give the Most High's word. As we are doing that, we're standing to the east, to where the sun comes out every day and where the windows of the heavens of the Shemayim is open. So we're going to send our prayers to the heavens, to that opening, as we stand to the east. And we are praying as the shofar is blasting that the words of the scripture, not my extra words or commentary, is the answers to the questions that you've been having, that the Most High has brought you here to get the answers for. So as that is blowing and as we are praying that these scriptures are the answer, we pray that you accept it, and when you do, your life levels up when you resonate with the Most High's words. Whether it be next year, today, tonight, whenever it be, we pray that the Most High levels you up immediately when you accept His words as the answers to your questions. So let's stand to the east and let's blow the shofar. We're going to do a little bit extra. Shabbat Shalom, man. It sounds so beautiful to me, man. I just love the horns, man. Anyway, the shofar is awesome. So let's stop sharing here. Let's get to our script. So we start off with Hosea, right? We start off with Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. And it reads, "My people is destroyed because of your disobedience. Because you have rejected obedience, I reject you as my priest because you have spawned the teachings of the Most High. That means you have erred. You have taken the teachings of the Most High and taken them your way. I, in turn, will spawn your children. The more they increased, the more they sinned against me. I will change their dignity to dishonor. They fed on my people sin offerings, so they desire its iniquity. So here, the Most High is saying that our priest, and part of the reason why we were in captivity, because the ones that were supposed to lead the flock all the way back in Jerusalem, this is not since colonization, okay? I got a lot to say about pork chop preachers and whatnot and the whole New Testament angle, but this is pre all of that. And the Most High is saying that these priests, they ate so much off of these sin offerings. What was our process? When we sinned in our community before colonization, the system that the Most High had set up was that if you had truly sinned, then you would take a offering to the priest. Why? Because you were supposed to feel the loss. You did something wrong. And now you need to feel the loss of that. The Most High said, an animal, your prize, but your best animal, whether it be a bird, whether it be an ox, whatever your sin offering was, it was to be the best of what you had. And that was for you to feel the loss of the sin. Understand the system. When these priests, they would get these ox, or they would get the best of whatever the people had, they would keep it. They started to thrive off of it. They started to build their homes and their lifestyle off of the good things of the community that kept sinning. So the Most High is saying that these priests wanted them to continue their iniquity so that they will continue to pay offerings. This is before colonization. It's before the Roman Catholic Empire. This is before the pork chop preachers and the tithing of today. This is before it. This is us having control of us being us, Judah, stiff neck, and the Levites who were the priests. But let's go back up to verse 6. So verse 6 of Hosea 4, and reads again, my people is destroyed because of disobedience. The title of our lesson is The World is an Enemy to Order. This scripture here is showing that not only the people, the leadership, the priesthood from the time of Jerusalem have been doing this, going against the order of the Most High, or taking advantage of positions of claiming to be a vessel of the Most High, or in today's society of whatever religious entity it is and whatever governmental system that it is, because our government was David and the priest. It was all in together. The Most High has put out an order, and many people want to get into philosophy when they don't want to deal with the actual words, and they want to say, well, if the Most High created, he knows everything, and he knew we would do all of these things, why would he even let us? Why would he let us what? Live? Why would he let all of this happen? Is that really your question? It's amazing when we want to throw philosophy, when we're looking at the reason why we're in iniquity And we don't want to deal with what is in black and white, what is righteous, what is simple, what is plain, the order of the Most High. We would rather, like the priest, create our own concepts of righteousness and why we do it, all for the dollar. That's the world that we're in. That's the thought mentality that we all have. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5 through 6. For the earth was defiled under its inhabitants, because they transgressed teachings, violated laws, broke the ancient covenant. Verse 6. This is why a curse consumes the earth, and its inhabitants pay the penalty. That is why the earth's dwellers have dwindled, and but few men are left. Now, in Isaiah, I'm not sure what the population was. We seem to be a little overpopulated right now. But then again, we all shoved into certain cities. There's much more land. We just don't use it. But here in this Isaiah chapter 24, the Most High is telling us that we have gone against his law. And because of that, the earth is cursed, and inhabitants are full of turmoil. But you guys don't want to believe that. People do not want to believe that these words are true. They want to say that man wrote this. They want to say that there is something else going on. I believe in my Allah. I believe in my Jesus. I believe in my Zoroastrian. I believe in Yeshua, whatever. Why is things not different? Why is there oppression? Why is there this pain? I'm giving up these prayers. Why is the system destroying my children's moral value? Why can't I figure out what my own moral compass is? Why do I make excuses for all of my actions? The Most High is telling us through Isaiah and through Hosea that we read that we have turned against his law, against his order. We have built societies upon our pleasure principles. Now, I can't point at you and say you created this society off of your pleasure principle. No, your oppressor created this society off of its pleasure principles, and we have adopted those same pleasure principles and same ideologies and concepts of evil, of iniquity, and calling it justifiable because of your situation and your scenario. We say, I got to follow the laws of America because American laws are the one, or United States laws are the ones that can put me in jail, can have my taxes take my home, can have my children taken from me by police and put into modern day slavery, the penal system. People will give you great arguments for why the law of this world is the thing you need to follow, and then say that the law of the Most High is something that they can't follow. They can't do the Most High's laws, Exodus 20. No, they can't do those 10. But all of these marital laws, all these IRS laws, all of these police laws, all of these gerrymandering laws, I can follow all of them. I can fight against them, but I can't fight for the law of the Most High. When you know that the Most High is saying that these people are oppressors, he prophesied because since our priests, we turned against him, that he would let us be cursed and that we will go into captivity with our captorers. that would have no affinity for the old or the young. And we see it. We feel it. But we somehow can't make the connection that we're not following the order of the Most High, the order we should be following. That this order that we are dying for, having internal family fights over the concepts of voting, when if we come together under the Most High's law, he said he will put us above all nations. Is that a lie? You don't believe it? You don't believe it? Just say that. Say you don't believe it. But don't give me something about a New Testament or something in the Quran. That's something simple. We all should understand his law. The Mosaic laws in the Quran, the Mosaic laws in the Bible, the Mosaic laws in the Torah, the Mosaic laws in all of these places. But somehow the philosophy on top of it just erases the fundamentals. And that's the reason why we're in the pain. That's why we're in the disorder that we're in. Let's go to Isaiah 57, verse 20. Isaiah 57, verse 20. But the wicked are like the troubled sea, which cannot rest, whose waters toss up mire and mud. There is no safety, says the Most High, for the wicked. So get this. If you're following the world, then you're considered wicked. Show me something of this world that is righteous, where they take care of the youth and they take care of the elderly. Show me this society that was not built off of stolen labor, i.e. slavery. Show me a nation that has become great from its benevolence and it's taking care of all. Show me that nation that's doing that. That has nothing to do with the Most High. That is doing that, and you live in it, because that's not the nation we live in. We live in a nation of kill or be killed. Only the strong survive. We live in a nation of oppression, of classism, racism. We live in a society where sex trafficking is a known thing. We live in a society where gambling and prostitution and murder are commonplace. We have a tired network called the news that gives it to you every night, the most horrific ones from across the nation, just to reinforce the depravity of this nation and the debauchery of this nation. So if this nation is wicked and you're doing as this nation is doing, trying to just get along, do what you got to do, but you're following and capitulating in this nation, that would be considered wicked. You would be considered wicked. So as the Most High says here, there is no safety for the wicked. And we don't feel safe in this nation. Maybe it's because of our wicked ways of the nation that we're following and trying to emulate. Because this nation is a nation of idols. This nation is a nation of slavery and stolen labor that the Most High says he cannot stand. This is a nation of hypocrisy. You following hypocrisy and cheerleading the hypocrisy, that may be why your life is out of order and disarray and feel like there's no safety, because whether you know it or not, you're putting yourself in the boat of the wicked. But with knowledge, the Most High forgives. So if you only acknowledge what you've been doing, it is not a death sentence. I'm not saying that you cannot have a wonderful life, that you cannot have the grace and mercy inside this wicked nation. You have to realize that this nation is out of order, and the only order is of the Most High. Let's go to Hosea 8, verse 7. Hosea chapter 8, verse 7. And it says, they sow wind, and they shall reap whirlwind, standing stalks devoid of ears, and yielding no flower. Ooh, say it again, verse 7. They sow wind. How do you sow wind? Just start off right. Then it says, and they shall reap a whirlwind. So it's saying that you are sowing things that are blowing, but what you're going to get in return is a whirlwind. It comes back in a cycle that destroys all, right? And it says, standing stalks devoid of ears and yielding no flower. The wheat is standing tall, but you produce nothing good. If they do yield any, strangers shall devour it. So we are the wheat. The Most High in the Torah has used us as agricultural products to explain our behavior and what he's going to do with us. There is a major one when it speaks of in the end times, he's going to separate the wheat from the tares. The tares are the people that are wicked. The wheat are the good people within inside of these horrible nations. Most High said that we are so entangled together, just like the wheat, that you can't separate the wheat and the tares in its growth. You have to wait till the end of it when you harvest it to now separate them. All praises. So we, the ones that are following the law in this land, that's trying to bring order through his Exodus 20, this is the wheat. The tares is everyone else. So as it says here, if they yield anything, the stranger shall devour it. So if we are the wheat and our kids are what we produce, even our good ones, the ones before they even get to wanting to do evil, it seems that they are cut off in high school with social engineering fights, and now they decide they want to be evil as the world. They don't want to hear the parents. The parents don't have no money. The parents ain't balling. The parents don't have things in line like they got on, like they seeing on social media and TV and all these other things. So now that they see that they got a family that's not balling like the other evil people in the world, or getting the benefit of the other evil people in the world, these kids now want the good things in life, so to speak. They want the luxurious things. They connect with other kids that are hurt and torn, kids that have major holes in their heart from the horrible parents that they may have had, from the horrible situations they may have come from. You put that mix together, that chemical mix of a kid that wants to turn away from the righteousness of his home because he feels like the home isn't rich enough, can't provide the type of entertainment it wants, with the kid that is hurt and all he wants to do is hurt and willing to go out there and do all kind of things just to find some type of joy, some type of attention. You get them two together and it destroys our entire youth. This way of world is not a friend of the family. It's not a friend of order. It is a friend of chaos. So our kids that we do produce, we do instill the goodness that do come up as strong wheat. The society comes along with racism, classism, starts beating them down, destroys them. Cop gets him at a stoplight, traffic stop. He goes left. Kids just trying to go to a party in the city. Racist white guys, racist Indian guys, racist Mexicans, racist whomever. Because it seems to be going around these days. And our kids are in danger. Like the Most High says, they devour it. We have to recognize the world we live in and stop putting rose-colored glasses on. You can still enjoy this world with the reality that this world is horrible, because you know that you are not doing it and you're making your own world, your own algorithm of righteousness. And you can sit back and look at this craziness and just I don't need that in my life. Let's go to Psalms 119, verse 126. Verse 126 of Psalms 119. It is a time to act for the Most High, for they have violated your teachings. So it's a time to stand for the Most High. When is that time? In your life, in how you live in your household, your immediate friends, how your family treats you. That's where you're supposed to stand. That's your war. Your war may not be in Iran or in the whole Gog and Magog or military instance. Your war is creating your world of peace in the order of the Most High. Psalms 119, verse 126, it says, it is a time to act for the Most High, for they have violated your teachings. Rightly, verse 127, rightly do I love your commandments more than gold, even fine gold. Verse 128, truly by all your precepts I walk straight, and I hate every false way. That's what the call is. To hate false ways. I see my brother Ryan is in the building. To hate false ways. You have to recognize the world is out of order. The world has turned its back on the Most High. They have pimped out the name, destroyed the name, replaced his name with Canaanite gods. They put up deities. They've done it all. Man's simple ass mind can't seem to wrap it around one entity creating all things. They want to start with groups. How do you start with groups? How do you start with Elohims? Where did they pop out of? Where did they come from? So now we're not trying to explain one creator out of nowhere. Now we're talking about the whole legend, the whole X teams, and trying to figure out where each one of these primordial beings came from. I mean, for real, everything comes from a single origin. We can't seem to accept that. This world seems to want to follow divination and multiple god systems, deities. They want to pray unto them for power. They want to make emulates of them. They want to take the power that they have within themselves and give it to something else that's supposed to now give it back to them. Verse 126 again. It is time to act for the Most High, for they have violated your teachings. Rightly do I love your commandments more than gold, even fine gold. Truly by your precepts I walk straight, and I hate every false way. Let's go to Isaiah 59. Verses 14 and 15. Isaiah 59, verses 14 and 15. And it reads, and so redress is turned back, and vindication stays afar, because honesty stumbles in the public square. So redress, what is redress? To readdress something, to deal with something that was done wrong, and then to address it. As you know, in today's society, nobody wants to readdress their actions. They just want to continue on. Don't be called out. Don't want to be put on the carpet. Don't want to have to explain why they did whatever they did. And if they do explain, they expect you to take whatever explanation that they give. And it says, and vindication stays far. So if you never address the altercation, the disrespect, the whatever it is, then there is no vindication. Nobody gets right. We don't get on the same page. We don't all feel equal. It says, because honesty stumbles in the public square, and uprightness cannot enter. So if people aren't willing to look at themselves, I call it the narcissistic syndrome that they diagnose through psychology. Narcissism is when you feel you can do no wrong and everything is wrapped around you. And here the Most High says that is something that all men are doing in some form of fashion. That this narcissism is something that runs through the wicked. He's saying that because individuals, not nations, not your government, not your priest, you, everyday people, because they won't look at themselves and be honest, can't have somebody else tell them they are wrong, especially they need to be following the laws of the Most High. You become crazy religious. They got a problem with it. Because when you redress, what has to happen? When you tell somebody done wrong, you have to establish what is right. You get it? Righteousness, if you don't understand it, if you don't know it, then you're going to alter all the way through. But as you may fall, no matter how high you get, you're going to always come back to the basics of what is right and what is wrong, and who has the copyright on righteousness. It is Exodus 20. The world knows it. It's before any religion was here. Exodus 20 was known. Before the flood, the laws of the Most High was known. That's why we had the flood, destruction, because we went against the laws. So as we have restarted since the flood, and we are now back at our height, and it was prophesied that we will know the end times. It will be at the days of Noah, right? Noah's days was the ending. It wasn't just the beginning of this new world. He was there at the end of the old world that would not follow the Most High. They were doing bestiality and all sorts of things that we still doing to this day. All of that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This world is full of evil, and as much as you think that you're having fun in it, you got to understand that all the pillars and principles of this iniquity, man. Narcissism, all about thyself, all about thyself's pleasure principles. That an Epstein can get away, that an Epstein files of all of these people that are doing all of these sordid things, that no one can go to jail. So is there really a law? You get the illusion of law enforcement and judges in jail. But that's only for the Most High's children. They want to make sure they keep them in there. The other ones, it's their playground. This world is their wicked playground. But y'all don't want to believe that. Y'all don't want to believe that. I'm the one that's tripping, right? Verse 15, honesty has been lacking. He who turns away from evil is despoiled. So the one that turns from evil is despoiled. So what is spoiled? Spoiled is what the regular world is doing. If you turn from it and go to the law, then you are no longer spoiled. The Most High saw and was displeased that there was no redress. He saw that there was no man. He gazed long, but no one intervened. Then his own arm won his triumph. His victorious right hand supported him. He donned victory like a coat of maul, with a helmet of triumph on his head. He clothed himself with garments of retribution, wrapped himself in zeal, not jealousy, as in a robe. According to their deserts, so shall they repay fury to his foes. So shall he repay fury to his foes. He shall make requital to his enemies, requital to his distant lands. From the west, they shall revere the name of the Most High Shaddai. And from the east, his presence, for he shall come like a hemmed in stream, with the wind of the most High drives on. He shall come as a redeemer of Zion to those in Jacob who turn back from sin. I know it's hard to try and convince our own people that their concepts of being right inside this world is still wicked. I know our people are very stiff-necked. I see Juanita in the building. I know our people are very stiff-necked, and we're very much about our pleasure. See, we are a royal people. We are accustomed in our DNA. It's been a long time, baby. But I don't care how long the slavery has been. We know that we are a royal people. So we have certain expectations. And we will go out and we will lessen our moral value to try and live up to that concept of royalty in our DNA, in our spirit. I understand it. The Most High understands it, but we must know that we are not living the life to receive his grace and mercy. We are living a life to get the riches of the world. It's a direct contradiction. But the Most High says, I don't care how long you've been in that world. When you redress yourself, you put yourself back into the law and find your royalty through the law, because there's much of it. When you read the Ten Commandments, understanding you are not a murderer, understand you are not a gossiper, you're not a person that is coveting and wanting what somebody else got. You know what you got. You don't take and lie and steal for other people's things. You don't think that the Ten Commandments make you royal. I think that you are not looking at them. I think you have been socially engineered to look at it as something that is whipping you and stopping you and hurting you and making you a square or making you something that's not cool. It's making you royal. See, what the Most High is trying to tell you is that the slop of the world, the pigs of the world, they gossip like little bitches. That's the pigs of the world. The Most High is telling you, a man that wants what another man has because he won't work for it himself. When the Most High tells a man that if you work, I'm going to give you the what you work for. I'm going to reward you with the works of your hands. But when he rather be mad at another man for what he has and hate on another man for what he has, that's not royal. That's a pig in his slop. Y'all get it? A pig in his slop has no morals. If you say that you're royal, if you know that you come from royalty, is it just words? Because maybe you don't know what royalty does. Royalty does not go down with the peons. They do not dwell amongst the peasants. What separates the royal class from the peasants? It is supposed to be that they will not let anything, there isn't anything that will break them from their royalty, their moral values. They're not poor of moral values. The world has tricked us into believing that doing as thy wilt is the only way to win. And doing as thy wilt is the way of the world. It's the iniquity and wickedness of the world. You know, like if we go ahead and start, digging for these minerals over here, it's going to destroy our whole community. We don't care. You know what I mean? They call them data centers now. They want to take St. Rose, which is right down the way. You know what I'm saying? My son's dad lives right there by, Laplace and St. Rose and all of that in that little River Parish areas. They want to put a data center there that hums all night, destroys the water, destroys the wildlife and fishery around us. Does that sound like progress? All for AI. So we're going to destroy humans and human habitations and wildlife habitations so that humans can have easier access to entertainment. Stop believing that you live in a society that cares and that their laws are royal in any form of fashion or high-minded or righteous. There are laws to keep you in line so that they can create their data centers, so that they can put their ammonia plants on the water so that it's easier to get rid of the waste into the water to destroy our fish. We already still can't get fresh seafood in New Orleans. We live on the water right now from the BP spill from all the years ago. You can't go to West Wego. You can't go to St. Rock Market. You can't go nowhere. Only place you might get is Cast Net to get fresh fish. Real like caught this week on ice. But y'all think living the life of being ratchet and being able to be the loudest and be the most ignorant and have enough money to tell people to kiss your butt, that's royal, or that's being a king, or that's being a baller, whatever the hell a baller is, right? I want to be royal. Matter of fact, I am royal. That's how I live my life. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 24. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 24. Yet they did not listen or give ear. They followed their own counsel, the willfulness of their evil hearts. They have gone backwards, not forward. From the day your fathers left the land of Egypt until today, and though I kept sending all my servants, the prophets, to them daily and persistently, they would not listen to me or give ear. They stiffened their necks. They acted worse than their fathers. They acted worse than their fathers. I see Big Chief in the building. I ain't seen you in a minute, Big Chief. Good to see you, brother. So we continue to think that the Most High don't know that we choosing to follow our oppressors, the evil people. We can say that these people are evil for what they did to us. We can say they're evil for all the things they've done to our children, all the systematic hate that they've done. We can say that they're evil for all these things, but yet we try to be the top of their society. Yet we want to vote and try and be a part of their political system when we know that they're hating. What we should be doing is what they're doing right now. Recall. At any time, just get rid of them. If they're doing something wrong, we can't spend our time worrying about politics when we need to be trying to raise our children and get back to being righteous. Politics is nothing but evil people constantly sending and trying to figure out ways to lock our community down. If we spend all our time effing around with them, we can't even build our own community. This is the process that they've created. This is why our families don't work. They have the money because they stole the land. The industry that's working on the land pays them back. They, with that money, continue to create laws to keep us down and not be able to get our land back or be able to profit from our labor on the land. Then they tell you, well, you got to get in the political system to change those laws. So now I can't work the land. I can't build anything. I can't worry about my business because I got to sit here with the people that's rich that ain't doing a damn thing, that just keep on coming up with laws as they choose. So I got to work and watch them and come up with laws and build. You see, there's a systematic manner in which they keep us locked down. You can continue to think that this is just the process. No, it's the process that they've given you. You've accepted it because you don't know no other system, because you refuse to read the Most High, and you refuse to believe that following the Ten Commandments is the key for these complex issues. But it is. But it is. And I tell people when they get in the car, yo, and they talk about all that's going on, I'm like, I'm just watching it all fall. And some get offended, some get real quiet. They're like, how could you want this system to fall? Do you understand that's going to be anarchy? People won't be able to feed themselves. That's what you believe. You believe that when this evil government falls, that you're not going to be able to figure anything out, that all the systems are going to be so much to the point. Oh, praise, it's not feeling good. I pray that we're going to pray for you, Janet. We pray that the Most High give you some healing in this hour, Queen. Sleep well. He's going to work on your body while you're sleeping. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, as I'm saying, we must understand that there is no way of loving them is it good for us. No way is it participating in their system helping us. If we come together as a people under this law and we start working together, cooperative economics amongst each other in this nation, we become great. It's not like we don't know it. We've seen it with the Somalians. We've seen it with the Indians. We've seen it with the Hispanics. We've seen other communities do it in present day. So it really should not be a thing where you don't understand. It's the stiff-neckedness that for you to refuse. You rather go and figure out what the Mexicans is doing and try and do what they're doing. You rather go and figure out what God the Indians are in with Vishnu and them, and maybe that'll do it for you. You're not understanding cooperative economics. You're not understanding that your creator has set laws for you to follow and for your community to come together, for your culture to win. That's their culture. But since you're so used to Stockholm syndrome, you look into everybody else's culture. You'll take anybody's culture but the Most High's culture that is yours, which is the Torah. Jeremiah chapter 7, like I said, verse 24 as it reads. Yet they did not listen or give ear. They followed their own counsel, the willfulness of their own evil hearts. They have gone backwards, not forwards, from the day of their fathers left the land of Egypt until today. And though I kept sending all my servants, the prophets, to them daily and persistently, they would not listen to me or give ear. Their stiffened necks. They stiffened their necks and they acted worse than their fathers. Let's go to Isaiah 5, verse 20. Isaiah 5, verse 20. It says, those who call evil good and good evil, who present darkness as light and light as darkness, who present bitter as sweet and sweet as bitter. Most High says he's going to destroy those. That's the society that we're in. That's the hypocrisy that we live in every day. Let's go to Jeremiah 11. Verse 10. They have returned to the iniquities of their fathers of old, who refused to heed my words. They too have followed other gods and served them. The house of Yasharallah and the house of Yehuda have broken the covenant that I made with their fathers. Assuredly, thus says the Most High, I am going to bring upon them disaster from which they will not be able to escape. Then they will cry out to me, but I will not listen to them. Verse 12, and the townsmen of Yehuda and inhabitants of Jerusalem will go and cry out to the gods to which they sacrifice, but they will not be able to rescue them in their time of disaster. So the Most High said, I know that y'all boys was going to call upon other gods. And as a proof that the other gods don't work, your situation ain't going to change. Now, some people, when they really, they get into these religions, and some, not all, some really actually follow righteousness. They actually go in there and they start getting their families together. They start getting their minds together. They start choosing to eat the right foods. And all of a sudden, that triggers something in their mind. They start eating the right foods. They start having less ambitions to do crazy and wild things. They are more subtle and stable. They now start getting downloads from the Most High. They may want to say that that's because they follow another God, but the Most High will show them. The Most High will show them. They ain't no other gods. But the gods that steal the word of the Most High, steal the concepts of righteousness and blends it in with their evil. But the people that can get into those religions and can decipher and can pick the righteousness out of it and follow it and do as they should, all praises unto them. The Most High is with them. But the rest is disaster. It says, verse 13, for your gods have become as many as your towns in Yehuda, and you have set up as many altars to shame as there are streets in Jerusalem, altars for sacrifices to Baal. We know what we got going on today. Most High say, let all that go and come back. Let's go to Psalms 2, verse 1. Psalms 2, verse 1 through 3. And it reads, why do nations assemble and people plot vain things? Kings of the earth take their stand and regret and regents and intrigue together against the Most High and against his anointed. See, Ryan, that's what I'm trying to explain that this nation is. That this nation has assembled the peoples and they plot vain things. This nation, laws is built on vanity, pleasure principles. And then it says here, they get with the kings of the earth and take stand and regents intrigue together. So a confederacy in order to keep a large group of people down, to even re-educate them, to even lie to them. And it says, but they go against the Most High and against his anointed. We will be the anointed. And by the way, anointed means Christ. So it means that is what this would be saying is that against the Most High and his Christ, us. And it says, shake off their ropes from us. He who is enthroned in heaven laughs. The Most High mocks them. Then he speaks to them in anger, terrifying them in his rage. Let's go to Psalms 83, because we're talking about nations, right? Understand what's being said. It's talking about nations in Psalm 2, and how the Most High laughed at these nations that create all these gods, right? And then he talks to them in anger. And let's go to Psalms 83. Psalms 83 says, O Most High, do not be silent and do not hold aloof. Do not be quiet, O Most High, for your enemies rage. So we already know who the enemies are, because we just read it in Psalms 2. These nations and these kings and these, I forgot what other dignitary name they used, all coming together, right? Against the Most High. And he says, for your enemies rage, your foes assert themselves. They plot craftily against your people, us, his Christ, right? Take counsel against your treasured ones. They say, let us wipe them out as a nation. O Yasharallah's name will be mentioned no more. But we got our law. They wiped us out. They put us in slavery. They changed our names. They scattered across the four corners of earth as the Most High said he would do. But they wanted to beat us. So in trying to beat us, they took our laws and they propagated it everywhere. We know it. And it says, will be no more. Unanimous is their counsel. Say unanimous. So this council of these nations, they have made an alliance against you. The clans of Edom, which is Rome, Esau, right? And the Ishmaelites, which is your Arabs, right? Moab, which is your French and your Spanish, who are the Moors, the Hagarites, the Gabal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistia, Gaza Strip, all of the Canaanites, right? With the inhabitants of Tyre, Assyria, Turkey, all of them places, to join forces with them to give support to the sons of Lot. Moab and Ammon is the sons of Lot. Y'all know who the sons of Lot are. All right. Moab is Ishmaelites, and they all became one. That's your Islamic religion. Ammonites, they were your Baal image worshipers, which we still got to today. By the images they worship. Moloch, stars of David and all that stuff. But they ain't really David. Don't put that on David. But anyway, so the Most High is saying these people are in council. These are these nations and international systems that treat us wherever we go, wherever the black man goes, wherever the black woman goes, right? Even when we go to black places, we still get treated a certain way. Wow. Even when we go to places that are black, and when black people that supposedly are black Africans come here to the Americas, they look down upon us as if we not them. But yet we get all of this doctrine in our social engineering schools that say that we all come from there, so therefore we need to show love to them. But them people say we ain't from them. They don't love us like that. What a conundrum. What confusion. And that is of the devil, right? Because they're all in cohort. They're all in council together against the Most High's children. Man. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 4. We almost out of here. Only got 2 more left. Oh, but the last one is a doozy, baby. As Jeremiah 4. Ryan, we got to address something in our community that's really messing with us, man. The fact that our women won't follow. The fact that our women are really in a mindset that they know best. And what they know has come from the oppressor. Their strength is the fact that they can call the oppressor, the police, the system. That is their strength. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 30. And it says, we're reading verse 30 through 31. And it says, and you who are doomed to ruin, what do you accomplish by wearing crimson? By decking yourself in jewels and gold. We're talking about women. And enlarging your eyes with kohl. You beautify yourself in vain. Lovers despise you. They seek your life. Verse 31. I hear a voice as one in travail, anguish as of a woman bearing her first child. The voice of fair Zion, talking about the women, the ladies, panting, that means breathing fast, stretching out her hands. Alas for me, I faint before the killers. This Jeremiah, as I've laid out to you guys all the way through, that our communities are not following the Most High. We're following the laws of the world, and we believe that those laws are righteous, and they're not. I've given you 9 different scriptures, 10 actually, 10 scriptures. The 11th is coming forth now with Isaiah chapter 3, but the 10 scriptures that I've given you is proving that their laws are for their secular world. It is for their desires, and that their desires is our oppression. And no matter how much we abide by those laws, we are still oppressed, because those laws and our capitulation supports the systems to keep us down. That may be hard for some people to understand, but this is for deep divers, and people need to raise up their level of understanding. When the Most High says here in verse 30, and you who are doomed to ruin, speaking of the women, let's go up to 29, because the Most High is speaking of the ones that are not following him. It says 29, at the shout of horsemen and bowmen, the whole city flees. They enter the thickets. They clamber up the rocks. The whole city is deserted. No man remains there. And you who are doomed to ruin, what do you accomplish by wearing crimson, by decking jewels and gold, and enlarging your eyes with kohl? You beautify yourself in vain. Lovers despise you. They seek your life. I hear a voice as one in travail, anguish as a woman bearing her first child. It is the voice of fair Zion, panting, stretching out her hands. Alas for me, says I faint before the killers. Let's go to Isaiah 3. It's a continuation of this. Isaiah 3, verse 16 through 26. This is our last ones for the night. Isaiah chapter 3, we're going verse 16 through 26. And it reads, and the Most High said, because the daughters of Zion are so vain and walk with heads thrown back, with roving eyes, and with menacing gait, meaning, what they call the famous resting bitch face, right? And it says, with a menacing gait, making a twinkling with their feet, my Most High will bear the pates of the daughters of Zion. The Most High will uncover their heads. In that day, my Most High will strip off their finery and off the finery or jewelry off the ankles, the fillets and the crescents off the eardrops and bracelets and the veils, the turbans and the armlets and the sashes of all the talisman and the amulets, the signet rings and the nose rings of the festive robes, the mantles and the shawls, the purses, the lace gowns and the linen vest and the kerchiefs, the handkerchiefs, or I guess kerchiefs and the capes, and then instead of perfume, they shall be wrought, and instead of an apron, a rope, instead of a diadem of beaten work, a shorn head, instead of a rich robe, a girding sackcloth, a burn instead of beauty. It says a burn instead of beauty. Her men shall fall by the sword, her fighting manhood in battle, and her gate shall lament and mourn, and she shall be emptied. Is it emptied? Yeah. She shall be empty, shall sit on the ground. Verse in chapter 4 of Isaiah. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. This is now chapter 4. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own food and wear our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our disgrace. In that day, the radiance of the Most High will lend beauty and glory, and the splendor of the land will give dignity and majesty to the survivors of Yasharallah, and those who remain in Zion and are left in Jerusalem, and all who are inscribed in the life who are inscribed for life in Jerusalem shall be called holy. When my Most High has washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and from Jerusalem's midst has rinsed out her infamy in a spirit of judgment and in a spirit of purging. Verse 5, the Most High will create over the whole shrine and meeting place of Mount Zion cloud by day and smoke with a glow of flaming fire by night. Indeed, over all the glory shall hang a canopy, which shall serve as a pavilion for the shade, for the heat by day, and as shelter for protection against drenching rain. Our families, as I stated, Ryan, in the beginning, our families have been broken. And during slavery and during Jim Crow, as the men were being killed, as the men were being enslaved, our women were left out. And the men that were out didn't have much. They dipped. From woman to woman, they had no house. You know, everybody likes to look at the present day and think that everything is now. Everything is the same way it's always been. Like, there ain't been a whole bunch of things that have led us to the way we think, to the way we act, and decisions that we make. That's the error of most. In this present day, the belief that the men are just so horrible and that the women are just so horrible is true. The men are horrible and the women are horrible too. But there's a reason for it. And if there's a reason for it, then there's a way to change it. But because our women have such a pivotal position in our community, we're giving birth to our children and then planting the seeds in our children. We must admit that our women have been continuing to spoil these apples with the vanity, the I mentality that our women have. This has now spilled into men that aren't good men that have very selfish ways that already came from displaced fatherhood, from maybe not having examples of good fathers that are even trying to be a good man. This throws them completely off with the being raised to take care of thyself and thyself only. When it comes to a woman and a man already having a conquering way of being, this is a mix for destruction and has continued to destroy our families. But don't get it twisted. In the 60s, before segregation, our families were intact. Don't get it twisted. Tulsa, Oklahoma, we didn't build Tulsa, Oklahoma, Redwood, and all these other little towns that we had with our families in disarray, with our women teaching our kids it's all about selfishness. No, we had men in the house that said that is not how we live. That is not how we operate. We do not operate off of fear. We do not operate off of anxiety. We operate off of logic, not our emotion. And we teach our boys it doesn't matter how you feel. You do what you must, and you do it the best that you can, because one thing is for sure, people are always looking. And whether you like what you're doing or not, if you do it the best you can, it will open up the avenues for your success, for your progression. We are teaching boys not to throw a hissy fit because they don't like something and start running, because then that creates a man that never stays in a family and never builds his family. Because he was taught as a child, if you don't like it, you ain't got to do it. If you don't like it, you can just whatever you feel. Do whatever you feel, what makes you happy. That's what I want, for you to be happy. That child grows up and be a man. He has that same mentality. So now he has 25 women, and he don't know what makes him happy. He wish he knew what made him happy. He wish he could choose one of the 25 that would be his rock steady, but he don't know himself. All he knows is what his flesh likes. He doesn't know what righteousness is. He only knows to do what he likes, what makes him feel good. Not understanding that sweat, that doing the wrong thing, doing the thing you don't like that is the right thing, is the biggest way to progress. It's the biggest way to be successful. Sweat equity for goodness brings the Most High's righteousness, brings the Most High's grace and mercy, brings the Most High's treasures. And we must understand, and our women must understand, that emotion and narcissism and how you feel cannot be placed down to the next generation. That as men are trying to get themselves together in this hour, women have to get themselves together, and it is not upon the man. See, a lot of women in these talk shows, they put everything on what the man, so they have no responsibility, but yet they want all of the power and control to do as they will. They never see that. They never see that as a crazy contradiction. You want none of the responsibility, but all of the power. Well, when a man is in rulership, he sacrifices his own thoughts, his own feelings to say the right thing, to do the right thing in order to keep the ship, to keep the family, to keep the culture in a righteous manner. That's the job if you want to be the leader. Doesn't matter who you are. That's the requirements. And if you don't, as our priest did, as I read in Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, our priest asked, well, not in Acts, they didn't want the people to stop creating iniquities and sinning, because the people had to bring them the best of their cows, for their sin offering, the best of what their household had, so that they could atone for their sins. So they started to take advantage of that. So if the priest can do it, so can you, woman. So stop acting as though you can't be wrong, that you are the only one, and please don't play victim, because in this hour, man or woman that plays victim is a destruction to our community, a destruction to our growth and progression. Last 2 weeks, I have banged on Paul, and banged on Europeans, and banged on the concepts of these Abrahamic faiths. But tonight, it's about us and our community. And as ugly as it is of what they have done, it is as equally as ugly of what we have done within our own community and our own selves. How we have lost the law, how we have lost our order, how we have sown and negotiated our order of the Most High to have the riches of the world, to have what we call comfort in the world, so that we can have other people say we are, I guess, successful. My success is my following the Most High. All praise unto the Most High. That is our lesson for tonight. I pray that our community can take a look in the mirror and do what it needs to do for itself and then for the family. But first, you can't save anyone until you save yourself. You can't teach anyone until you teach yourself. It's a very simple process. You can't lead unless you know how to follow. It's a very simple understanding. If you refuse to humble yourself to be a follower, if you refuse to humble yourself to obey, if you have a hard time taking correction, then that's why you need that. You can look directly to why your life is in the disarray, the problems, the issues that you have. It's very clear. It's very clear why you feel solo and alone and lost. You're denying your safety. You're denying your salvation. You're denying the thing that will pull you out the water. The law. It's the little orange buoy that the lifeguard throw out and you grab. Yeah, it's the law. All praise unto the Most High. We'll see you guys on next Shabbat. If not, I may come back earlier this week, but if not, I will see you guys on Shabbat. All praises, Misha.